Hello, thanks very much for joining me. I'd like to talk this evening about beer that changes. I had a conversation with a few friends a little while back, and I mentioned the fact that things like Carling, Foster's, Stella were not the same beers that they were drinking 15, 20 years ago. The beers over a period of time will change, and in our experience they often change for the worst. The friends that I was mentioning this to looked at me like, what? Are you sure? And it was like I mentioned to them about Stella Artois, the fact that the ABV of that is around about 4.2% or something these days, and it's like dishwater. Whereas when we were younger, Stella was extremely strong beer. Anyway, I tried a beer from Aldi a little while back. Well, I say a little while back, a few years ago I think, COVID times. It's by Williams Brothers. It's 6 States New England White IPA, and when I had this a couple of years ago, it was really underwhelming. It was poor. I was watching a great beer reviewer called Paul's Beer Reviews. You get the chance, look him up, he's superb. And he tried this for the first time. It was only a few weeks ago, and he liked it. And I know that I'm not an expert in this field, but I know for a fact that had this beer been the same beer that I had a few years ago and he tried it, he would have not been giving it the glowing praise he did. So I thought I better get into this and try it again myself and see what happens. So 6 States New England White IPA. It's 5.7%. Calls itself a juicy and refreshing tropical IPA infused with citrus and aromatic coriander seed. It calls itself a white IPA, if memory serves. For a white beer, it was dark. And I think from Paul's beer review the other week, it's still quite dark. However, this is lighter than it was the first time around. Now, all manner of reasons can exist as to why beers change. Oh, the other thing that's worth pointing out about this, the first time I tried it, I'm pretty sure it was clear. This is hazy. So it was a darker beer, but it was clear. So this now is hazy. And it does smell really nice. You smell coriander. It says it's infused with citrus and coriander. And the thing is, they're additives, so they're not from the hops. And beers with additives are generally... But like I say, I've seen enough of Paul's beer reviews to know that he knows a lot of what he's talking about. And this, now, by comparison to a couple of years ago, is a fantastic looking beer. So, Williams Brothers, I've had stuff from them that's excellent. And the one thing that was really disappointing a couple of years ago was that this was the first beer by them that I'd had, which was poor. It's been a few years, so as you may have heard me mention a few times already, this review. Let's see what we get. It's a lovely, refreshing smelling, or fresh smelling, orange peel, hint of coriander. It smells like a really good kind of New England IPA style beer. I don't know why they call it white IPA though, because it is darker still than a lot of New England IPA beers. But let's give it a go. You good health? It's okay. It's alright. It comes in at around about £1.70, £1.80 a can. So you can't expect it to pull up trees. It's got a lovely smooth mouthfeel. It's very much the orange end of fruit flavours. Lovely smooth mouthfeel. Kind of orange, little bit of hint of mango in there. Definitely a little bit of coriander, but not any more than a hint on the back end. The bitterness that comes through is a tiny bit astringent, but not so much that you're that bothered. And you know what? That beer has changed. From when they first released it, Williams Brothers, this has changed. They have refined it. They clearly, when I first tried it, was like their first batch or something. They've worked on it. So it says 6 states is a New England white IPA. Why white, I don't know. Juicy tropical fruit aroma balanced by the refreshing spicy addition of citrus peel and a pinch of coriander seed. Heavily dry hopped with a restrained bitterness, it delivers a smoother, rounder flavour, which combined with the presence of wheat and oats, results in a full body and natural haze. Yeah, the oats give it a lovely mouthfeel. And yeah, it's good beer. I'll be buying that again. I don't mind that. For the price, and if I'm in Aldi and there's, you know, I fancy it, I will pick up a tin or two of that. So, if I was going to mark it, I'll give it a 7 out of 10. And please enjoy your weekends. Looks like we're on to the last night of summer now, unfortunately. But once again, here's to your good health. Cheers.